Welcome back to the class, everyone. Today, we're going to be continuing on with the Badly Geared Batch series. Today, we're going to be tackling kind of a different team. In the last two videos, we have tackled both the Geonosians and General Grievous. The reason why I kind of went with those first, regardless of the results, was because they were both separatist teams. So naturally, you would think that Bad Batch would be a counter to both of them. Now we're going to start to branch out a little bit. We're going to start to branch out a little bit to other teams that there was a big question mark of whether or not they could beat or not. And I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised by some of these. So that being said, today we are starting off with Premium First Order. So what exactly is Premium First Order? Premium First Order is not Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. There is G11 Bad Batch are not going to be taking down a Galactic Legend. Premium First Order is essentially any First Order team that has Kylo Ren unmasked, Hux, and Lobster. The variation we're going to be testing against today is going to be a variation with OG Kylo, as well as First Order Stormtrooper. The reason why I picked those last two is because I really wanted to see how OG Kylo would interact with the massive amount of debuffs the Bad Batch has, to see whether or not that would be problematic, because he gets stacking speed with those. And First Order Stormtrooper was just kind of a good character. I felt like First Order Executioner wouldn't be the best to test against, because he's not really going to do much if he's constantly dazed and stunned. With that being said, let's go ahead and get over to our footage. So as always, if you guys want to pause it here, you guys can kind of see how these guys are modded. They're, again, very average. OG Kylo's modded for damage. He's got some speed. They all have a little bit of speed. One thing I should note, actually, is the Hux, as you guys just saw, is a 280 speed Hux. This is really important because I did not want to test against a Hux that was going to be slower than my Echo. I really wanted to make sure with that. My Bad Batch is modded the same way it was in the other two videos. Really important thing there, Echo is 300 speed. I also did take Barris in with this testing, just because I thought it was going to be very difficult for the Bad Batch to tackle a fully relicked team. I did want to specifically test against a relic team, though, because with how common SLKR is as a GL, it's very likely that it's going to be. So I didn't really feel like this had much validity testing against a Gear 12 team. So we're getting into the actual match now, and the beginning is pretty much the same as usual. So what happened here was, as usual, Hux switches turn meter. Really, this is Hux sabotaging the First Order team. This is a part of his AI. It's a terrible part of his AI, but it's what he does. He normally switches to crew, not always, and we'll get to that in the second video that we have here. But crew will kind of stun someone at random. This is important because I need to let you guys know that we got good RNG in the very beginning of this. Had he gone for either Echo or Tech, we would have been done for. This would not have worked. This whole battle would have failed. And there is a way to help prevent that, though, and we'll get to that soon. But let's watch out how the rest of the battle goes. So we're going to go ahead and get our massive amount of debuffs, and then we're also going to try to stun everyone. And we do get just about everyone, which was nice. And now we're going to try to keep everything going. Like I said in the other videos, this is not it's not an intensive counter guide of like what you have to do every time to get it. We're trying to see how reliable they are on a normal level. So one actually really important thing I do want to say in the beginning, whenever you go against a Premium First Order team, I don't care what team you're using, you always really need to kill Lobster first, otherwise he gets really angry, he gets a bonus turn, he gets more turn meter because he crits, etc. You need to kill him first. The second character you need to kill first is Hux. Why am I mentioning all this right now? Because you really don't want to get your true damage going until you kill both of them. And the reason why is because if you get true damage going, it's going to hit every single time you do anything. And if you're hitting the whole team every time you do anything, you're going to be hitting crew, and crew is going to be passing advantage to the rest of the team. It's going to be primarily really bad if you're trying to gain turn meter through certain moves, and Hux has his advantage up. So I would avoid the AoE stun move right in the beginning with Wrecker. I went ahead and went for the basic. You could probably do the middle ability to get him furious as well. So you guys can see that OG Kylo is going to get a turn here. Again, the debuffs feed him speed. So even if the enemy is really poorly modded, he's going to get it. The nice thing is, with everyone dazed, though, his favorite move kind of means nothing. Now you can see we're getting a little bit farther into the battle. I really wanted the people stunned. That was worth it more than the TM was from Huck's doing his thing, and we just keep chipping away at the team. The First Order really doesn't have a big way around the AoE days and the AoE healing immunity. The big way that they could get around it is honestly going to be Lobster, but most people don't have a very fast Lobster, so even if you don't land the stuns, and that'll happen in our second video, it's actually pretty easy to control him with the exposes. So you guys can probably see pretty clearly where this battle is going right now. It is going very well. They just seem like, again, such a natural counter to First Order. Despite using debuffs all over the place, the unresistible healing immunity and the true damage really hits both of the Kylos where it hurts, primarily because they have both of them. OG Kylo has stacking defense, and the other Kylo, I think, just has a really good defense with his unique. But ultimately, that doesn't really matter because you're able to link the healing immunity so well. Sooner or later, they're both going to die, and if they're constantly stunned, there's really not a lot they can do. So after getting this first mission success, I really wanted to see how they would do without Barriss. She didn't really feel that crucial here. So once we got this battle to a very comfortable position, which is where we're at, I went ahead and restarted the same exact battle, same exact mods, same exact team, but we took out Barriss. One really important thing here, and this is important throughout this entire match, we get a lot of bad RNG, and that's really important when we're considering the validity of this team. So what is the first thing that happened? Hux, he kind of went outside of his normal AI. Sometimes there are anomalies in the AI. This wasn't a huge one. He has a preference towards Kylo, but it's not always going to go there, and he threw it to Lobster. And this was interesting because he went ahead and did his AoE, got a lot of turn meter, and it really wasn't enough to stop the team. Echo is still super fast, 300 speed. The enemy Hux is always going to outspeed him unless it's a really bad Hux. But the vast majority of the time, people aren't running 275 speed crews or 275 speed OG Kylos. So as long as you don't run into any of those, Echo's gonna take the next turn. And when he does that, he's gonna put AoE days up on everyone. And one of the nice things about going against First Order with Hux is they start with advantage. So you take the advantage and you take it away, and that generates turn meter for our team. So even though Echo is the only one that's actually fast on our team, the whole team is going to get to go. And that's pretty important. You guys are going to see why. So we got those buffs out, and then we went in for the stun. And we didn't get it on Lobster. And this is huge because Lobster has an AoE cleanse for his own team. So if he were to get a turn right now, he would be able to take all of them out of stun and all their days off and everything. But like I said, because of the debuffs because of the buffs we're ripping off from Echo and the turn meter we're getting, we're able to control the team because my Hunter is going to get to go now, and we're going to be able to get turns with Wrecker. We're going to get more turns with Echo. So we could have even given the turn back to Echo. We could have aimed at Lobster. We could have hit him with exposes. We could have taken him down. It's just they just counter them so well. It's just such a natural counter. One of my favorite things about looking at the Bad Batch when they first came out is they really kind of just seemed like really vamped up Ewoks. And that's funny because Ewoks were one of the original counters to First Order before Hux and Lobster joined the crew. So just getting to see this kind of extra interaction was really cool, especially against a fully relic team. And you can see there's kind of some other bad RNG that is happening in the rest of this video. They are getting hits off. OG Kylo did get an AoE. They did go right after Echo. There is got to be a margin for some type of bad RNG where you just full out lose if someone decides to resist like 3 things in a row. But it seems really consistent. And I don't really think a different 4th or different 5th, unless it's Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, is going to stop that, which is great. One thing I do want to mention, I think a really big fail point, especially in the beginning, can be, I didn't take a 5th in for the second battle, but I think the optimal 5th for this team would actually maybe be either your L3 or Shore Trooper. And the reason why is because when we're talking about the AI in the very beginning, Hux always has a tendency to pass TM, and normally, not always, this TM is going to go to crew. The reason why that's a problem is because if he does choose to stun Echo, your run ends immediately. It's gone. You do not get to continue from that point on. It's over. So one of the advantages of taking in a in a pre-taunt like L3 is that you are immediately going to be able to soak up that stun. Regardless of what crew wants to do, he's going to be forced to go after the pre-taunt. He'll throw the stun on them, and you can continue this like the rest of what we did. So that is one pretty important thing. I would definitely take in a 5th, a pre-taunt. I don't think Barris necessarily did very much. The reason why I like Shore is because number 1, he's a pre-taunt, and number 2, the crit immunity just does quite a bit against crew's advantage, because as much as the Bad Batch have crit avoidance advantage, most of the time doesn't really care about that. But yes, that's pretty much going to be it. So let's go ahead and look at the analysis we have for this team here. So before, this is something I've been doing with the other videos, and I want to do here as well. Where does everything stand? Mods are crucial. You have to have the right mods. Hux can go first on the enemy team, that's okay, but no one else can. You can't let them start getting their TM train off with getting crits or getting mass attacks. You have to go there, and you do need a decent amount of potency. There is a little bit of margin to handle 1 or 2 characters that don't get stunned, but there's not a lot. So you do need to have, again, speed and potency, very similar to the Geos. For a 5th, I talked about this already, it's advised. Taking a pre-taunt just to soak up the initial stun so crew can't go right after Echo and just mess everything up. Where does it stand as a counter? I would say soft. There's enough margin in here that you could lose if they just resist enough debuffs, or if they miss enough attacks. It's still possible to lose this because it can go downhill pretty quickly, especially with Lobster having the capability to maybe cleanse everyone. I do think it's pretty reliable, and that is why I'm going to say it's worth it. Like if you're needing a specific counter for this team, and it's a really good team, I think these guys are worth taking to Gear 11 because of that. But that is going to be everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be continuing with both the videos, specifically against non-separatist teams, now just to see where Gear 11 Bad Batch stand. But until the next time, stay awesome.